Today we're talking about restricted Facebook pages, why it happens, and I'm gonna give you 2 solutions on how to deal with restricted Facebook business pages. Your page got restricted, and this is what you do. You go on Google, you type what to do with a restricted Facebook page. The first solution would be to contact support and let them about your problem. The second solution would be to go to Facebook and submit the review. So those are the 2 main solutions. What happens when you do both of them? I'm gonna tell you what happens. First, you go to support, you talk to somebody, and you feel like you're talking to a robot. You feel like this person doesn't get your problem. You're on the chat, they tell you that they're gonna transfer your problem to some other department. You wait a little bit more, then you go to support again, nothing happens. You wait for a few months, you go to support again, nothing happens again. Your page is still restricted no matter what you do, and you feel like Facebook does not want your money. Why this happens? What is the reason? I've been advertising since 2017, and back in the days restrictions was very rare. It was very rare to hear that somebody had issues with restricted Facebook ad. It was super rare. When the COVID happened, there were a bunch of people going to Facebook to talk about COVID. There were a bunch of people redistributing fake news. There were a bunch of people fighting. There was hate speech going on all over the place. And the government saw that. Facebook is all over the place. Facebook is just like out of hand. So they needed to regulate this. They needed to regulate Facebook. That's why in April 2020, Facebook announced that it's changing its algorithm to deal with fake news better and to monitor hate speech. In a result of this Facebook change, a bunch of Facebook pages got restricted. If the Facebook algorithm detected negativity on the page, or if the page posted something negative about like president or about the government like 6 years ago, the page got flagged, the page got restricted, and it was like all over the place. What happened? A real person is not reviewing the Facebook page. There is an algorithm and it's all up to the algorithm. So after April 2020, I think this is when the Facebook restriction got introduced. A bunch of Facebook pages got banned because Facebook needed to regulate the hate speech, and this is how they did it. At the very beginning, the algorithm was not tuned that well, and it just restricted a bunch of pages without a reason. And I'm pretty sure that this happened to you. It happened to me as well. So what we're doing about this? You tell me, what are we doing about the restriction of your Facebook page? I remember the first time it happened to me, it was quite unpleasant because I remember it like it was yesterday. In November 2020, 7 of my ad accounts just got banned, like completely restricted. Later on, 2 of my Facebook business pages got restricted from advertising. I didn't know what was happening. And one of the pages was for a client who is quite famous. I won't mention his name here. He's teaching YouTube stuff, how to be successful on YouTube. With him, we were managing around $20,000 to $30,000 in ad spend per month. The campaigns were super successful. We were selling quite a lot of online courses. Everything was going great, but his business page got restricted. So I went on Facebook support. I submitted requests to approve the page, whatever. I waited a month, 2nd month, 3rd month, 4th month, nothing happened. And the guy was like texting me, what is happening with the page? When are we bringing the ads back? And he wanted to bring the ads back because we were making a lot of money. I wanted to bring the ads back because I was making a bit of money. It was kind of like win-win situation for me, my client, and Facebook. But 8 months later, nothing happened. The page was still restricted. So this guy thought it was my problem, and I don't know how to handle the restriction. That's why he went and hired another person. I'm pretty sure that the other person couldn't figure it out as well, because it's all up to Facebook, and Facebook is a huge corporation. And whenever you go to Facebook, you don't talk to real people, you just talk to like bots and like algorithms, and just like some, I don't know, pre-recorded text messages are happening to you. So that was the reality. And a Facebook page restriction happened to another client of mine, but it was somehow different because for this client I accidentally created a secondary page 2 years ago, and whenever my first page got restricted, I started using the backup page. And this brings me to solution number 1. Create a backup page. But it's not that simple. There is, of course, a catch. You cannot just simply go and create like a secondary page. If you create a secondary page, this page needs to have some activity. And if you create a secondary page and if you start sharing things on the secondary page, make sure you're not talking about politics. Make sure there aren't some negative comments in your publications. Make sure it's all about love and positivity and everything being great. And if you create a backup page, make sure you have some followers and some likes on this page, because if you create a brand new page for a backup, this page might get restricted immediately because it's a brand new page. It doesn't have any authority. That's why I suggest to have some page with activity and some page with followers. And here is your question, but Nico, how do I get the followers? I got you covered. So I've created a video on my channel on how to generate 12,000 followers for $80 and it's legal. I'm using Facebook ads to generate 12,000 followers. I'm gonna add the video somewhere on the screen, around the screen or in the description below. So make sure you check it out if you want to create a brand new page from scratch. And the way I'll go about it, I'm gonna create a page especially for advertising. I mean specifically for advertising. I'm just gonna add all of my pages to the business manager to create audiences. But when it comes to like advertising my business and running ads, I'm just gonna use my backup or secondary page. How are you gonna name the secondary page? I'm gonna leave that to you. I usually name my secondary page the business name team. For example, if my business name is Niko Velikov, my backup page would be Niko Velikov team, and I'm gonna use this page to run ads. And this is how I do it. And this is my first solution to the big problem of restricted Facebook pages, but there is also a second solution. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna close my book because I already know what's coming, but I have my notes here. So to be honest with you, whenever my business got restricted from advertising on Facebook, I was doing pretty well. My campaigns were crushing it. I was generating so much money for my clients. Everybody was happy. I was happy. My life was going like up the hill, you know, slowly climbing, and everything was perfect. But when the restriction happened, I pretty much lost my business overnight. Back then I run an agency that was helping entrepreneurs generate more sales only using Facebook ads. And back then I was like, I need an alternative, and I started implementing Google ads and YouTube ads. And this was one of my best solutions. This was one of my best decisions I've ever made. Whenever I figure out YouTube ads, I was able to generate pretty much the same results as I did with Facebook ads. So this is the second solution. Just go to YouTube ads and Google ads and try to figure it out. If you need help to figure it out, I've recorded a case study that shows you how I generate $22,000 per month consistently using YouTube ads. I'm gonna leave the link in the description below. So if you're interested in a very good alternative to Facebook ads, make sure you watch the case study. I'm pretty sure you're gonna discover quite a lot of things similar to Facebook when you start implementing YouTube. I'm pretty sure that YouTube ads and Google ads are the future, because YouTube as a platform is growing, and it's like the second biggest search engine and the first search engine is Google. And if you go to YouTube ads, you use Google ads and YouTube ads. Great solution, great alternative. Check it out. Make sure you check out my case study. Link is in the description below. My name is Nico. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you soon.